Good morning again. Welcome to the meeting of the Board of Trustees of the New York City Public Housing Preservation Trust. I'm Lisa Bova Hyatt, Chair of the Trust's Board of Trustees. As the first order of business, it's my honor to take the role of the trustees present. Please answer present or here when your name is called. Karen Blondell.
Present.
Pamela Campbell.
Present.
Adolfo Carrion Jr.
Present.
John Dionisio.
Present.
Anika Lescott Martinez.
Present.
With 6 trustees present, including myself, we have a quorum. Secretary Stacy Tyson shall assist me today in holding and carrying out today's meeting. Ms. Tyson, you may proceed with today's agenda.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The first item on today's agenda is the approval of the minutes from our prior meeting on July 8th, 2025.
Are there any questions? If not, I move that the board approve the meeting minutes from July 8th, 2025 as presented.
And is there a second?
I second.
Oh, fantastic. All in favor say aye and raise your hand.
Aye.
All right. And if there are any nays or abstentions, please raise your hand. Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair. The next item on the agenda is ratification of the prior written actions.
Are there any questions? If not, I move that the board ratify the July 2025 unanimous written consent of the trustees with regard to the adoption of the 2024 Annual Comprehensive Financial Report as presented.
And is there a second?
Second.
Great. All in favor say aye and raise your hand.
Aye.
Are there any nays or abstentions? Please raise your hand. No, that's fantastic. The July 2025 unanimous written consent has been ratified. I believe Lisa will present the chair's remarks.
Great. Good morning again, everyone. I'd like to begin today by acknowledging the meaningful progress we've made together since our last board meeting in July. Over the past few months, the Trust has reached major procurement milestones, strengthened operations, and deepened partnerships with residents and industry partners. First, I'm pleased to report that CMG has kicked off the Trust Mod project at Nostrand, the very first of what will be many design-build teams. This is a groundbreaking step for the Trust, not only for Nostrand, but for the program overall, as it sets the stage for how future projects will move forward. President Vlada Knif will speak in greater detail about this later on, but I want to note the additional milestones that we've reached. A design-build partner selected at Bronx River Addition, a short list moving forward at Unity Towers, and the release of the first progressive design-build RFQ at Highland. We look forward to continuing the important work and selecting the right teams for each of these projects. I want to take a moment to sincerely thank the residents who played a vital role in all of these efforts. Your participation throughout the process is meaningful, helpful, and deeply appreciated. Your voices are essential in shaping the future of your communities. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The next item on the agenda is the President's report to be presented by President Vlada Knif.
Thank you, Board Chair Bova Hyatt, Secretary Tyson. Good morning, everyone. We're happy to be here to share how we've progressed since the July board meeting, and really time flew by. We continue to expand our team, ensuring that we have the staff and the consultants with the right expertise to meet our goals. I am pleased to welcome Heather Perez as our administrative paralegal. Heather is a legal and administrative professional with extensive experience in nonprofit and legal services, specializing in project management, contract review, corporate governance, and executive support. Heather has been amazing. Additionally, we'll be welcoming Chris Moyer later this month as our development associate, assisting Elizabeth Propp on our development financing. Chris has worked on underwriting, capital structuring, and real estate finance analytics in the affordable housing sector, and brings a strong foundation in deal modeling to support our pipeline. Chris is actually coming from the Cambridge Housing Authority, who did a very similar model to the trust. Lastly, we are onboarding an assistant general counsel who will be starting in mid-November, Natalie Dennery, who's here today. Thank you, Natalie, for coming in. We'll complement our legal department by bringing significant finance, risk management, and compliance expertise to our team. Natalie spent the last decade with the Office of Resilient Homes and Communities, formerly the Governor's Office of Storm Recovery, and has familiarity with public contracting. We're looking forward to leveraging her experience in furthering the trust mission. Next slide. Okay, our focus on resident partnership remains throughout everything that we do. We've made meaningful progress across our trust sites. At Nostrand, in late August, as you heard the chair, TMG kicked off their first resident engagement to make sure that we are gathering design feedback from the residents. Residents were given options for color palettes and materials and textures, so that was really, really exciting. The rooms were full. Both Jillian and I were there. We kicked off each one of the meetings. It was really great to feel the energy. Additionally, in late September and early October, NYCHA and the Trust held an in-person and virtual meeting to discuss the Section 8 lease signing process. Another huge meeting. I think they had 104 people in the audience. It was very well attended. We've also joined the residents at the Back to School event in August, helping celebrate the end of summer at Nostrand. This summer at Bronx River Edition, Unity Towers, and Highland, we celebrated Family Days. We know these are very, very important to the TA presidents. And so this was our opportunity to connect with the residents, really explain the projects, if there were any questions about the projects that are happening in their developments. And so to dive in a little bit more into each one of the developments in the pipeline, let's go to the next slide. For Bronx River Edition, during our last board meeting, the board approved a resolution to move forward with a contract with any of the 3 shortlisted firms. I'm excited to announce that Fifth Avenue Builders, as a selected design builder, will partner with Bronx River Edition. This is a $93 million contract to renovate 226 apartments across the 2 buildings. And we're really excited to work with this team. They're a known team, and they're already started the work to fully rehab these apartments. On our next site, the trust is now in the second step of the 2-step design build procurement for Unity Towers. And I'm pleased to announce we just actually put out the press release yesterday about the 3 shortlisted firms. And they are Canberra Property Group, Sinalta Construction, Richards JB Construction, and Navalis Tile Inc. Again, we're another step closer to advancing the Unity Towers Trust Mod project and delivering comprehensive renovations that residents have been waiting for. And we expect to select the design build team by spring of 2026. All right, Highland. At Highland, the trust is leveraging progressive design build for the first time. Jenny's here and she's been working hard on standing up that delivery method. And I'm excited to announce that last Friday, on October 3rd, we released the Highland Progressive Design RFQ, the first phase of the 2-step procurement process. Statements of qualifications from the team are due mid-November, and we anticipate shortlisting firms by winter of 2026. All right, next slide. So alongside the capital updates that I was giving you before, we've advanced quite a bit of the operations side of the trust portfolio in very deep partnership with NYCHA. This is where we work very closely together. And Julian, actually, I have to give her credit, has done a lot of moving of this portfolio, and we've made a ton of progress. I feel very proud. For the enhanced services, NYCHA and the Trust are jointly releasing a solicitation for on-site social services. This follows a request for information that we distributed this summer. And for dashboards and reporting, the Trust is building a suite of tools to track performance metrics post-financial close. These will help us ensure compliance with the property management agreement while also driving revenue and accountability. In addition, we're also developing the asset management handbook and related procedures so that we have a clear framework in place for when the properties transition after the financial close. For training, the new programming has been designed for NYCHA property management and will be rolled out in stages before financial closing. Finally, on hiring, I feel really excited about this one. A candidate has accepted our offer for a property manager position at Nostrand Houses. This is a very important position. And with NYCHA now finalizing the start date. We have two new lease signing housing assistants that have already started, one in the Bronx, one in Brooklyn, and 3 more offers are underway in Brooklyn. At NYCHA, NYCHA is identifying budget lines to bring on one assistant manager and an additional housing assistant to further strengthen the team. All right. Industry and vendor outreach is an important part of our work. It ensures we're engaging with partners who bring innovation, expertise, and resources to help advance our mission. Over the past few months, as procurements have ramped up, and we've had a press release every week for the last 3 weeks, we've also been active in the industry and doing some education and outreach. On September 12th, the Trust hosted Design Build Institute of America Progressive Design Build training, where we had 35 people who attended to learn more about this specific delivery method that is not very common yet in city government. Kudos to Jenny again for organizing that. On September 17th, we joined AIA Brooklyn's Innovation Housing Solutions panel, where again Jenny discussed different approaches on development and financing alongside other industry leaders. And on October 1st, at the ACEC breakfast, I presented on the Trust mod updates, on all of our modernizations that are in flight, highlighting the new procurement processes and specifically progressive design build. Okay. We would like to also share with the board that the Trust is hosting an industry networking event, Stacey is running it, in this very room on November 21st of 2025, and this is to bring agency partners, contractors, key stakeholders for an afternoon of connection and collaboration. And the goal of this event is to spotlight the Trust's current priorities and highlight how design build accelerates timelines, boosts innovation, and streamlines project delivery. Okay. And as always, I conclude my update. Since our last board meeting, we've executed 5 contracts in services covering development of the Trust Asset Management Dashboard that I mentioned earlier, as well as language interpretation services. And finally, you see 3 contracts on here for the Trust chosen project management integration system. And with that, thank you for your time. This concludes my update.
Thank you so much, Vlada. This is all really, really exciting stuff. Thank you. I think we'll move on to the next action items on the agenda.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The next action item on today's agenda is the adoption of a resolution that will approve amended bylaws, and I'm going to present a little bit of information about them. The Trust is proposing that we amend current section 3.6 of the bylaws, which is minutes of the meetings. And what we're looking to do is remove the requirement for the Trust to publish written meeting minutes on the Trust website. All board meetings are live streamed, they're open to the public, and we will continue to prepare and maintain minutes as required by the open meetings law. Are there any questions from the board about this particular amendment?
If not, I move that the board adopt this resolution by approving the proposed amendment to the Trust bylaws.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Terrific. All those in favor say aye and raise your hand, please.
Aye.
Are there any nays or abstentions? Please raise your hand. All right, wonderful. The resolution approving the proposed amendment to the trust bylaws is hereby adopted.
How do we move on to the next
All
item on
right,
the
let's
agenda?
keep moving, thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. The next item on today's agenda is the adoption of a resolution approving the establishment of 2 limited liability companies that will support the financing for our projects, and I'm gonna present a little bit of information about that as well. Okay, so to date, residents of Nostrand Houses, Bronx River, and Unity Towers and Highland Houses have elected to join the trust and the trust modernization program. Under the program, we've executed related design-build agreements and will be executing additional ones with best value proposers. The trust is recommending that the board approve a resolution that will authorize the trust to establish 2 limited liability companies in furtherance of the financing associated with those projects. In addition, the resolution is seeking approval for the trust to periodically create, rename, and dissolve limited liability companies as needed in furtherance of the financing that will be associated with each of the projects that we are presenting to the board for approval. That will give us a little bit of flexibility as we advance the financing. Are there any questions about that board resolution that we're proposing? Wonderful.
If not, then I make a motion to, I move that the board adopt the resolution.
Thank you. Is there a second? Okay, terrific. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Are there any nays or abstentions for the record? Please raise your hand. All right, that's great. The resolution approving the establishment of the LLCs to support project financing is adopted. Keep moving. Thank you, Madam Chair. The next action item on today's agenda is a resolution approving special inspections contracts, and I'm also going to present some information about those. The trust is obtaining special inspection services from 2 special inspections firms. The first is called Project Tactical Solutions, Inc., and the second is JCPL Engineering, Inc. And these special inspection services will be provided in connection with the design-build project for Nostrand Houses, Bronx River, and Unity Towers. The trust issued 1 RFP to support all 3 projects for special inspection services, and the evaluation criteria was identified as what's called lowest priced, technically acceptable, responsive and responsible proposal. Project Tactical Solutions and JCPL Engineering submitted the lowest price, have been fully vetted, and have both been found responsible. As such, both firms have been identified for a contract split award. The trust is therefore recommending that the board approve 1 contract with Project Tactical Solutions for Nostrand Houses and Unity, and with JCPL for Bronx River Addition. If negotiations fail with either of these firms for any unforeseen reason, the trust is seeking the approval to move to the next highest ranked, which would be the next lowest priced firms, for a combination of these awards. Are there any questions about that proposed resolution?
If not, I move that the board adopt the resolution approving the special inspections contracts.
Thank you. Looking for a second here as well? Thank you kindly. All those in favor say aye and raise your hands.
Aye.
For the record, if there are any nays or abstentions, please raise your hand. Fantastic. The resolution approving these special inspections contracts is hereby adopted. And the next action item on today's agenda is resolutions approving a legal aid contract that was procured through negotiated acquisition. And we're going to have Jillian present the information around that requested adoption.
Good morning. The Legal Aid Society has been a strong independent resource for NYCHA residents around Section 8 conversion since NYCHA initiated the program. And they've reviewed and helped craft key program documents, including the resident lease, which we just released and received some resident comments on, so formally adopted. And they've been a really great advocate for residents with particular attention to addressing the concerns that residents have about losing their protections under public housing and ensuring them how those are protected under the Section 8 program. Developers under the PAC program have engaged legal aid with much success to provide similar services to the ones that we're proposing today. Under this contract, legal aid would provide pre-conversion and post-conversion support for residents. This includes crafting materials for residents on their legal rights, attending meetings. They attended our recent lease signing event and were able to answer a lot of resident questions, answering individual questions that arise through a helpline. They do on-site pop-up events, and then they provide support for a pilot program that's been very successful under the PAC program and that we're excited to adopt at the trust that gives a pathway for unauthorized residents to become authorized post-conversion. The contract amount that we're seeking approval for is $800,000 and it's expected to cover approximately 4,000 units in our portfolio, so enough for what we have in our current pipeline and additional capacity should other developments opt into our pipeline during the contract term. I'm happy to answer any questions if you have them.
If there are no questions, I move that the board adopt the resolution approving the legal aid negotiated acquisition.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you. All in favor, kindly raise your hand and say aye. And for the record, if there are any nays or abstentions, raise your hand. The resolution approving the legal aid negotiated acquisition is hereby adopted. The next action item on today's agenda is the announcement of the Trust's strategic plan. This is going to be presented by President Vladikanev.
Thank you, Board Chair Bovahayed and Secretary Tyson. I would like to close out our board meeting with the announcement of the draft annual strategic plan, the Trust report detailing the persistent progress we've made over the last year as well as our commitments for the next year. So the Trust has released a draft strategic plan on September 25th. The plan is required actually under the Trust Act and will be submitted to the NYCHA's board and the New York City Mayor's office. We have provided 1 month for the public to comment, with any written comments due by October 24th. Oral comments can be accepted today after the presentation of this item concludes. The plan is due to be finalized on November 28th and will be submitted again to the NYCHA board and the New York City Mayor's office. The intent of the plan is to provide a structured way for the Trust to report out on its accomplishments and future plans and to solicit input from those stakeholders, members of the public, and especially residents. The plan is structured into 4 areas. First, we cover the previous 12 months in review, which really focuses on the Trust Mod project updates, all the resident partnership activities, operational items, as well as asset management activities. In the second section, we address our goals for 2026 with a focus on delivery, including how we will partner with residents, continue to build out and improve our operations and our ambitions for the project delivery. And in the third section, similar to what we do here at the board meetings, we report on all of the Trust contracts in one place. These are all the contracts that are over $20,000. In the final section, we offer a summary of our goals in 2026. We actually meet as a team quarterly, and we do set goals. And so this is a summary of those goals for 2026, and we'll use them to organize our internal efforts. With that, I will pause and see if any members of the public are here today and wish to offer comments on our draft annual strategic plan.
At this time, it appears there are no further comments to the Trust's draft strategic plan. What do you say, Lisa?
Well, first, I just want to say again that this is incredibly exciting. I think 2025, although we're not at the end, I feel like we're careening towards it. So, and although we'll have another meeting before the end of the year, I just want to say it's really just been such an exciting time for the Trust, being on the Trust board. And I just think that 2026 we're gonna knock it out of the park. So thank you to the entire Trust team for everything that you're doing. And with that, I will say, if there's nothing further, if there are no other comments, I move that the meeting of the Board of Trustees of the New York City Public Housing Preservation Trust be adjourned. Is there a second?
I second.
Okay, This meeting is adjourned at 10 10:57 a.m. Thank you, the live stream can now end.